Hi everyone, welcome to WW Designs. My name is Nikki and today we are going to take some scraps and with the help of double-sided tape, we're going to make ready-made ephemera decoration. So you can quickly finish off a piece or a page because you will have all these things ready to roll. So let's get started. So this idea came from a Facebook post that I saw in one of the journaling groups that I'm in. Unfortunately, I saved the photo. I didn't screenshot it. So I like to give credit where credit is due. But unfortunately, I have no idea which group it was in. And yes, I'm in a lot of them. So if anyone knows or has seen this, please accept my apologies. I would happily give you credit if I could. And what the photo was a piece of baking paper of which double-sided tape had been stuck down on it. And there was row after row of lacy scraps all stuck together. And the idea was that you use them down the edge of a junk journal page. You know how we love having lace and things that stick over the edge? This was a creative way to use up scraps. And I thought, oh, fabulous idea. Now, of course, since I started down this track, I got a little bit carried away and came up with a few other ways that we can use the same principle. But let's start with the basics. And thank you to whoever gave me this idea. But what I'm going to do is I decided to do it in individual strips. That way you can do some in advance if you want to. Or let's say, for example, you're making a journal and you have leftover bits from the kit. You can just make individual ones and then use them up as need be. So my plan with this was now this is the only bit that can be a bit. Okay, so I have released some of the double-sided tape, and what I would do is, if you don't have scraps to hand to use, start making these, and then every time you make a project and you cut a piece off, you can start building your decoration. So there's the first piece down. Now I happen to have quite a few scraps. I'm a shocker for keeping things, honestly. Look, yes, I'm one of those. I love my scraps and I really struggle to let things go. But it made it easy for this project because I had beautiful scraps ready to go. Now this a bit longer. They don't have to be overlapping, but I sort of don't mind that idea. Next, what have we got? Oh, look. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Actually, we might even make another scrap and have another little bit. Take that off and pop this one down. Okay. So you now have a lacy trim ready to put down the side of a journal page, and all you have to do is stick it down. Now, what I would probably do is pop it down the edge of my journal page, and then I would run a seam of sewing down there. I think that would look fabulous. Of course, the other thing you could do, for example, is, let's say, I'm just grabbing this scrap off my desk. So you have a piece of cardstock or paper that you've printed and you want to make a belly band. You could glue your belly band down and then simply adhere this over the top and add a few more bits of ephemera and bam, you've got yourself a decorated belly band. So that's what started all this, and I decided I could make a few other things along these lines. So that's number one. we'll get to the next one. So this time you could grab a slightly longer piece of lace or trim and stick it down. And then add some cute embellishments. What I would do, of course, is you have to glue those down, and I'd be using something pretty solid. This is just a cute little piece of ephemera I found in my stash, and I'm only obviously going to apply some glue down the center of it so that we don't accidentally have glue sticking out the side. Then I found this. It's looking a little worse for wear, but look, why not use it? Same thing again, just run some glue down the center, and I use Helmer's Tiger Grip for all my journaling things. It does a great job with fabric, especially you just have to leave it for a few seconds. But it's very handy, of course, if you want to move things around. It gives you a little bit of time to do that. This is just one of those layering paper flower things that I found. And then I thought I'd put a cute little button in the center. Just have to hold it for a sec and then let it dry. And you can see the white, but it does dry completely clear. So love this glue. There we go. And then when you've decided which journal you're going to put it in, again, for example, you have a belly band in your journal, you peel off the back, you stick this down, and voila, you have decoration on your belly band. So look, once you start with something like this, I promise you it doesn't stop. But there we go. There's another solution for a slightly longer piece of trim. So for this next one, we're leaving the lace behind, and I have just grabbed all sorts of little pieces from my stash. I've inked all the edges, and we're just going to collage them down here. So, for example, we might start with this one up the top. And then this one down the bottom, and then we're going to work into the middle as we go along. And then do some layering. Very quick and simple. Now, obviously with these ones, I'm going to add a little bit of glue to just hold these ones firmly in place. And to be perfectly honest, I live in subtropical southeast Queensland. So unfortunately, it gets quite humid, and I would probably add just a couple of dots of glue underneath the double-sided tape just to make sure it can survive my climate, because honestly, it's pretty tough here. Double-sided glue sometimes just loses its oomph. So I would be inclined to do that. Just a little hint. If you live somewhere warm, it could be worth your while. Now, this is one of the little grungy pieces of ephemera. I did a couple of videos about making your own grungy background, and then, of course, creating little ephemera pieces. And I'm using a few of them here. This is one of them. Actually, I might just ink that bit up a bit. And this is another piece. This I did on some magazine page. I love making grungy stuff. It's very joyful. Where do we want this? Oh, we might put this up here. And can you see I'm just creating a ragged edge. Doesn't have to be super neat and tidy. Where are we going to pop? Oh, that better go that the right way round. Yep, that one can go in here. Let's just put a couple of little drops of glue. And this little, oh, I might trim this off. This can go up the top here. And lucky last, yep, down there somewhere, perfect. And of course, when you go and make a batch of very neutral things like this, that way, it doesn't matter what sort of journal you're going to use it in, you can add a butterfly or a flower or a heart or something that helps it to blend in with the journal you're making, but lovely neutral base pieces are the bomb. Now, of course, with something like this, again, use it for a belly band, use it down the side of a page. But you don't have to keep it whole though. So say, for example, you've got yourself a tag, you want to add some deco, you can cut a piece off, put it down the side, down the center, and then, you know, maybe a nice little piece of ephemera here. The list is endless. Making base things like this can just be the biggest time saver when you're building a journal. So the last piece we did was all neutrals. You can also go the other way and grab a collection of scraps that are very busy. These are all sort of florally plant related, but they don't have to be that. Again, totally up to you. So I thought, let's have a go at making one using up some of our very pretty floral scraps and just making them all work together somehow. We shall see. It doesn't matter, but it's a great way just to experiment. A little bit of glue down here. Here. Whoops, a daisy. Why are you being so naughty? Come here, you. I don't want you just there. There we go. Then and add a little bit of ephemera just to make it even busier. But look, we're going to use these scraps up, and it's just a matter of playing, mix and matching, finding things that you may not think go together, but can end up being a really good combo. These are from all over the place. I honestly don't know where half of this came from. I just have a big tub full of all sorts of bits and pieces. And then by layering a slightly quieter piece on top of a very busy piece is a great way to get a little bit of contrast and at least make some of these things stand out. But if you're doing a botanical journal or a nature-themed journal, these sort of little pieces are a lot of fun to use. Oh, maybe, decisions. Now, I might put that one down there. Might put a little bit of glue there. And we just need to find a home for our, might put little ladybug here. Why not put that up above the birdie? Because this bit's a tiny bit bent, but it's okay. It's getting a second chance at crafty life. There we go. See, they actually look really cool. And it's a definite mismatch. Like, these two bits came from the same piece of paper, but all the others are just completely random, but put them together with a couple of, little calmer bits, and they turn out really cool. I actually like that one. So that's another idea for you. And one final idea is bypass paper altogether and grab out some ephemera bits. We tend to collect a lot of pieces of ephemera, and all of these were just in my stash, and I thought maybe I could bunch them all together and end up with something that looks interesting. So I'm going to start down the bottom. This is a little playing card. And then at the top, we might go with a label. Then, no, we'll put this one down here. Sort of like that. So we'll just pop a little bit of glue down. And we just want to try and create, sticky out bits. We don't want it all even and super neat. So we'll have some crossover. Then this is just a simple little ready-made tag, which I thought could be useful. Yep. Don't need to hide all of those words. Then we've got a little pretend invoice. We'll layer that up down here. There we go. Then I've got this cute little flower. Don't know where this came from, but I'm going to put a little bit of glue down the whole lot, and it will all hold it all nicely together somewhere along the line. As long as the glue's down the middle and sits on the sticky tape, we're all good. And then I was wondering if I could also fit this on, or is this just too much? I'm covering up too much, aren't I? Yeah, I might skip this piece. Let's put that aside. So there we go. We've made another one. These only take a few seconds to do once you have all your supplies handy. And voila. I like this one, actually. I think that turned out really cool. Sometimes you just got to start playing, and before you know it, you're down another rabbit hole. But I think this one is definitely worthwhile. So if you remember, when I had finished this first lace piece, I thought, well, I said it might look really good on the edge of a page and stitched. In the back of my head, when I said that, I went, you know what, I probably can't use my sewing machine because of the double-sided tape. And lo and behold, when I tried to do that, I ended up in a war with my sewing machine. That included me pulling off the base sewing plate, having to take a big knot arrangement out from underneath it. And I went, okay, so I was right. I wonder how many of you went, Nick, you're not going to be able to do that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I did try. And in the end, I went, it's okay. I give up. Let's hand stitch it. So I just grabbed some DMC thread. I already had all these lovely holes. So it was very easy to hand stitch. And I thought, while I'm at it, why not add a few pearls. So there we go. That's what a scrap lace page edge can look like. Just don't try and use your sewing machine, because just having a fight with them is just not fun. But anyway, we are all done. I love how these pieces turned out, and I think making some more of these with some scraps is a great idea. Makes it very quick to finish a piece off then. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Pop them down in the comments box below. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye for now.